What's going on, guys? Not so average back at it with another video. It feels so weird to say that, honestly. And yes, I changed my name to Not So Average. Just kind of rings better, to be honest with you. I like the way it sounds a little bit better. I think it's more impactful. It means a little bit more, So let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. But before we even get started with this video, don't forget to leave a like. Don't forget to comment. And I mean, look, if you don't want to subscribe, you don't have to. So don't subscribe. But yeah, bro. Like, I gave Arc Raiders a second chance, guys, and I think you guys are gonna like what I have to say. I know a bunch of comments were upset. The comments were upset 2 videos ago. They were so mad at me. They were so mad at me for my opinions on Arc Raiders, but it's fine. We all have different opinions. But look, I came around, guys. I came around. But before we get into that, as you guys know, we will have to be doing our daily Bible verse. And today's daily Bible verse is Psalm 23, chapter 4. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Guys, we all go through problems in life. It doesn't matter if you have $1,000,000. It doesn't matter if you have $1. Look, we all go through problems. But when I read this verse, it's just telling us that, we could call on to our Creator, call on to the Lord, call on to God the Father. It doesn't matter what we're going through. We could be going just having a rough day at work, or even we may lost a loved one, but if we call on to Him, He's gonna give us the strength to be able to get through it. Look, like, we all go through things, man. We really do. But it could be a simple prayer like this: Hey, Lord, I'm having a rough day. Please just help guide me and protect me. Please help me get through this. Please give me the strength. Please comfort me. I'm calling on to you, Lord. It could be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be a crazy elaborate prayer. It just has to come from the heart. That's the thing. The God we serve, he loves your heart posture. That's what matters. It doesn't really matter about anything else. It's just, what are you like? Like, what is your heart posture? Are you doing this for do you have genuine love? Are you genuinely calling out to Him? Because if you genuinely call out to Him, He will be there for you. Seriously, He really will. So, guys, don't forget that. And I pray for anybody who's watching this video, man. I just pray that this touches you. If you're not a believer, that you may look into Christianity a little bit more and look into your faith a little bit more. But with that being said, let's hop into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to this game is the audio and just the sound design in general. Now, the audio in this game is genuinely something special. You can clearly hear the influence of classic Battlefield titles like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 when it comes to Embark Studios' approach to sound design. In Arc Raiders, you understand what's happening around you without ever needing to actually see it. You know when someone goes down nearby because a flare pops off in the distance. You can tell when a leaper or a bastion is close just by the sound that they make when they're walking by. You can even pick up on two teams fighting ahead of you from the direction, intensity, and the rhythm of the gunfire. Honestly, Embark absolutely nailed the audio design here, and I feel like they've raised the bar for how sound design should be used in gaming as a whole. Now, the next thing I want to talk about are the visuals. When it comes to the visuals in this game, Embark earns another A+. It's one thing to hear what's going on around you, but it's another thing to actually see it, and Arc Raiders does both incredibly well. Embark blends audio and visual design into a single cohesive experience. When a flare goes off in the distance, you don't just hear it, you see it cut through the environment, instantly telling you what's happening and where it's coming from. While the game is absolutely beautiful, it doesn't rely on photorealism to get there. This again calls back to the design philosophy of older Battlefield titles and the roots that Embark developers come from. The game looks great because of its art direction, not because it's trying to be realistic in every tiny detail. Something that I really appreciate is that Embark strikes a strong balance between visual fidelity and atmosphere. The world is futuristic, but it still feels grounded and believable, like a future you could actually imagine humanity heading towards. It's not overly sci-fi or exaggerated. A lot of modern games lean too hard into the extreme sci-fi aesthetic, but Arc Raiders finds that sweet spot between futuristic and believable, and it works incredibly well. So switching gears a little bit, I want to talk about gameplay and how it actually feels to play Arc Raiders. The gunplay feels solid right away, and the overall readability is excellent. A pistol behaves exactly how you would expect a pistol to, and a rifle feels like a rifle should. You can also clearly feel the difference between fighting Arc enemies and fighting other players. Damage against players feels more immediate and punishing, while arc enemies take longer to bring down, which is obviously to be expected. Now, that being said, it does feel like weapon damage against arc has been adjusted since the server slam. I feel like I'm doing more damage overall, and honestly, for me personally, that's a welcome change. This was actually one of my complaints earlier in my other video, and it just felt like, enemies like wasps and hornets felt a little overpowered for me. But honestly, this could have just been due to my lack of experience of how to actually deal with these different threats. Obviously, I have way more experience now, so it's a little bit easier for me to take these things out. Looting also feels good overall, although I do wish it was a bit faster. I know some people will say it's intentionally slow to build tension, and I get that, but there are just moments where I feel like it can be a little tedious, especially when you're trying to get in and out. And yes, before the comments jump in, I know you can upgrade the looting speed. I'm talking about the baseline experience as a whole. So now moving to the gameplay loop, honestly, the gameplay loop is genuinely very fun. And that's coming from someone who isn't usually a big fan of extraction shooters. I've always felt like the genre can just fall into a pattern where all you're really doing is looting and extracting and nothing else. But Embark actually addressed one of my biggest complaints from the server slam, and that was that quests used to feel dull and meaningless. Now they actually matter. They, add context to the world. They give you a reason for actually being in the Rust Belt, and then they hint towards where the future is heading when it comes to this world that we're living in when we play Arc Raiders. That sense of purpose combined with a solid PvP does a lot to strengthen the overall gameplay loop. So that being said, I do wish there was a separate PvPvE mode and just a regular PvE mode. Aggression-based matchmaking works most of the time, but when I'm playing solo, I don't always want to fight other players. We already have enough arc to deal with. And then on the other hand, when I'm running with a squad, we actively want those PvP encounters. So I just feel like offering both a PvPvE mode and a PvE mode would be a simple way to just satisfy both playstyles. Again, the aggression-based matchmaking, it works, but it takes about like maybe 5 to 7 games for it to actually change. If I'm running with a squad and we're sweating and we're going PvP and we're trying to kill every single squad, and then I go, everybody hops off and I go play by myself, I gotta deal with a bunch of sweats who want to shoot all the time. Like I said, 9 times out of 10 when I'm playing by myself, I just want to chill, do my quests, and do what I need to do, drop in, drop out. Now, I know I just kind of talked about this, but I do want to touch on solo and squad play. So when it comes to running solos, people are genuinely pretty chill, and often they just try to survive or get their quests done. They actually do help out a lot. Like if I go down, people are usually willing to revive with a defib, and I'm willing to do the same. When it comes to squads, honestly, it feels similar, but that is because of aggression-based matchmaking. Like if you're not going crazy in solos, then once you start playing with the squad, most of the time people are going to be just chilling, doing their thing. That said, like when I play in a squad again, I really do want to go play PvP. Like that's one of the reasons why I'm playing in a squad. So it can feel a little weird getting into fights with players who clearly just want to progress and don't really care about shooting you and all that stuff. Sometimes it could even feel a little bad. Like people would be like, "Oh, I'm just trying to get my quest done," or "I just found my thing." Like it's actually pretty funny. But again, that's why I keep coming back to the idea of having separate PvPvE modes and a PvE mode. It sets expectations going in, and you just know the experience you're signing up for. Like I understand that Embark wants to preserve that sense of tension and suspense, but there are just times, especially when you get done playing with your squad and you're just playing solos, where you just want to chill and relax. But instead, I end up getting shot on sight, and having those separate modes would just honestly go a long way in supporting different playstyles. So to wrap things up, my opinion on Arc Raiders has changed dramatically since the server slam. Honestly guys, Embark addressed a lot of the issues I originally had, and the experience now feels second to none. It's easily one of the best games out right now, and it's not even close. I will say that the bar is pretty low with a lot of minor releases, but that just makes it feel even better to finally play a game that's polished and genuinely fun from top to bottom. It really feels like the gaming community has been waiting a long time for a well-published, or I should say well-polished game that works and respects the player's time. And I think that's the biggest thing for me, guys. Like, a lot of these companies just build AI slop, cosmetic slop, and live service slop. And that's just not this. Like, Arc Raiders is just not that. Like, I haven't even spent a dime on the store. And the game doesn't force you to want to spend money on the store or in the store. but that makes me want to actually spend money even more. But that's gonna do it for me. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like, leave a comment, and don't subscribe if you don't want to. Subscribe if you want to. No pressure. But I love you guys. Jesus loves you too, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.